One of the big challenging that we're facing in the Middle East is the lack of access airports. In fact, we only have one airport in the whole Middle East dedicated as a business aviation. We're trying to talk to the government to raise the awareness that strips or a small or an old military airport could be converted to a business aviation airport. And we are sort of succeeding with some governments. However, that is need a lot of demand, and we are putting a lot of effort in that. Of course, the access is a limitation to the growth of the business aviation here.
The infrastructure in the Middle East is really driven around the main business centres. If you look at all of the main cities of the region, they're all served by very good airports. Overall development over the last few years in terms of airlines, low-cost carriers, is starting to impact on the availability of those resources for business aviation. It's really a case of looking towards other opportunities such as ex-military bases, as well as brand new infrastructure investment to develop facilities that we can use. And for Gamma, Sharjah is a good example of that, really. Dubai in particular is becoming very low on availability and access for business aviation, whereas Sharjah benefits from slightly less demand at the moment. But it still provides a very good alternative for Dubai, as well as the business needs of Sharjah itself. There are positive signs for all of us in terms of how the infrastructure is going to develop. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
With the infrastructure development around aviation in the region, can they afford to at this time also concentrate and focus on general aviation specific airports? I don't think the region is at the maturity level that will warrant it. Certainly one or two of the major centres it would make sense. More importantly is for the airport authorities to recognise that they need to have dedicated areas within their international airports that focuses purely on general aviation. At least it would address the industry concerns about the right equipment on the ground when you arrive at these international airports, dedicated terminals that provide the benefits. Exactly why people charter or fly on private jets is so that the ease of access and departure from the airport is catered for. I don't think we're going to see a trend of general aviation specific airports developing, well, at least not within the next 5 to 10 years.
Corporate travel or business travel has not really matured to the level that we've seen in other advanced areas or regions such as the United States and Europe. Why? Because the businessmen on the business level have not really embraced it as a tool that's effective for them. The main use of corporate aircraft has been in the VVIP, very, very important person, secondary shake level type travel, and also for EMS, for emergency medical lift outside of the Emirates. The transition in this country, in this region, will only come when a few things happen. Number one, when the business markets, all different markets here, recognize the benefit of aviation, also recognize the benefit of the speed at which those transactions need to take place. Ultimately, people have to travel to there to assess operations, to look at potential investments, speak to their bankers and so forth, and this type of travel is where we might see businessmen begin really using general aviation and corporate aviation. As far as the infrastructure here in the Emirates, it's lacking, simple as that. The Emirates need to continue to build and rebuild their aviation infrastructure, focus those plans on additional airports, on additional heliports. As the economy hopefully returns, so will business aviation, and hopefully we'll see more general aviation aircraft flying within this region.